you want a war? Or do you want to just give me a gun?
Somebody please get this man a gun.
The first John Wick film was a breath of fresh air. In an industry crammed full of action flicks, John Wick managed to not just impress audiences around the world, but it reinvigorated Keanu Reeves and made John Wick into a current day action legend. In the first film, he was out for vengeance, and now, picking up shortly after those events, John Wick was back for more. Barely any time has passed when the film kicks off, as John looked to tie up that one loose end left from the end of the first film. He was looking to retrieve his car, which was currently held by Viggo's brother. It was a short appearance for the always welcome Peter Stormare, and he recounted, just like his brother did, about the tales of the Baba Yaga, the boogeyman, and it's safe to say that it was a smart decision for him to accept that peace offering when it was given to him. And with that, he was done, retired and content to live a peaceful life. But as things likely do when you are a former assassin, his past kept tugging away at him to try and pull him back into the thick of it. Knocking on his door was Riccardo Scamacio's villain Santino D'Antonio. He was there to invoke the Marker, an unbreakable debt of sorts that John had little choice but to eventually accept. He turned down Santino at first, but then after going and burning his house down, rules still stated that John was actually lucky that he didn't take more. You do not turn down a man who you once promised a marker to, and thus, because of that, John was forced to grit his teeth, step out of retirement, and go back to what he did best. And to make matters worse than what they already were for him, the hit he was assigned to was Santino's own sister. However, Santino's fatal mistake was trying to tie up the loose end once John had gotten the job done. He'd already driven the man to the edge by burning his home to the ground, so why on earth would you try and antagonise this man even further when you fully know what he is capable of? And staying true to his name, he went through Santino's men like a knife through butter. Saying it is thrilling to watch is quite frankly an understatement, because the action scenes are again the best I have seen in movie theatres in years. John is merciless with his enemies. The kills continue to be inventive, brutal, and always visceral. And if it's not one headshot that puts them down, it's that precise one to the chest and then another to the head. That is sure to do it. Unless you're talking about that hulking mass of a man. Perhaps 2 headshots for him. Now, John surviving was not what Santino had hoped for. Him completing his task had left him free. His debt was paid. And free in this case meant that John would be coming after him now. After what Santino did to him and tried to do to him, he could expect no less, and it prompted him to put a hefty 7 million bounty on John's head, which could only be removed by cutting the head off the snake. The rest of the film was John resiliently battling through endless waves of agents across the globe, looking to collect that reward. Cassian was the one who came the closest. He proved that he was at least equal to Wick. He had him on the ropes during their brawl, and considering John gave him the professional courtesy of not ending his life, don't be surprised if he crops up in John Wick Chapter 3 or beyond. My overall verdict for John Wick Chapter 2 is an 8 out of 10. The franchise is simply the best action available for movies right now. It's on par with the original, which is a hard thing to do, and if anything, being on par with its predecessor, that could be taken as an improvement. John Wick is essentially a modern day Rambo, and their kill counts are likely on a similar level. He has to be in the hundreds for this film alone thinking about it, which is a crazy number. Now, one of the strengths of this franchise is that its stories are not overcomplicated or delving too deep. It's an action film, it knows it, and it intends to give us as much of that as it can. The story is easy to understand, though they do continue to delve into the fascinating lore and backstory behind the Continental Hotel. Ian McShane is back again, and tremendous as you would expect. He is all about the rule of law, and breaking that will sever your ties to him and to the hotel. We saw in this film that there are actually multiple hotels spanning in each of the cities. Its agents are everywhere. This mysterious underworld ruling from behind the scenes was greatly expanded this second time around, so expect that trend to continue with further instalments that we get. Now, I preferred Vigo over Santino. He was just far more charismatic for me, and if I am correct, this is the first time that Keanu Reeves has shared a screen with this man since the Matrix films. That's right, Lawrence Fishburne joins the fray and ends up giving his old pal a hand when multiple agents were starting to swarm John. He assisted him and patched up some of his wounds. There was a kind of friendly hostility between them, which is fair since the last time they met, John gave him something he would never forget. The best scenes were naturally all the action ones. When the open contract was put out on him, he had to look at everyone he was passing. Anybody around him could have been looking to collect that bounty, and some very nearly did. He fought off numerous agents coming after him, executing them in tow. John Wick is a man of few words. He is brooding and calculated, and Keanu excels by conveying his emotions through small, subtle facial expressions. It works for the character and his pent-up personality, and unfortunately for John, I don't think retirement is something he'll be able to contemplate for quite a while. With the Continentals severing all ties to him, expect part 3 to pick up shortly, if not straight after this one. Where will the story go from here? Will he be able to mend that broken friendship with Winston or the Continental, or will he have to fend on his own and be off on the run for the entire film? At the moment, that is anyone's guess. To reiterate, John Wick is a modern day action legend, and if the quality holds up, expect plenty more from this franchise for the years to go by. So what did you think of John Wick Chapter 2? Did you feel that it made an improvement over the original? And with Wick now at odds with the Continental management, where would you like to see Part 3 go to? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the review. And I'll see you on the next one.
Tell them all. Whoever comes, whoever it is, I'll kill them. I'll kill them all.